Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Yes, since I was a little kid, I always have been excited about...
Speak up so that others may hear you.
I'm always been excited about spaceships, getting a spacecraft one day.
Getting a spacecraft one day.
Travel in the intergalactic and be a part of the other worlds.
First, the steps toward that, as you know, is to follow the formula while your feet are on the ground.
Yeah.
And if that is something relevant for your life, then the opportunities and circumstances will arrange themselves to allow that to manifest.
Yes. So, yeah, right now I'm in science and technology. So we're working on anti-gravity, but I believe there is an easier way to...
Well, there is, because anti-gravity is not actually anti-gravity. It has nothing to do with being anti-gravity. It has to do with relocation of the locational variable within every object.
Okay.
Do you understand that explanation? Was that a no?
Not really.
Then say, no, I don't understand it.
No, I don't understand it.
Thank you for your honesty. This is how it works, and this is how our craft work in going from star to star. Many people on your planet consider an object to be in a location. Yes? So you have an object, no matter what it is, let's say it's a cup, and it's in this location. And now you take this cup and you move it to this location. You people think it's the same cup. It's not. Because the cup in this location has a different locational variable in its energy signature. Location is a part of the object. It's not a place the object exists in. Therefore, when you move the cup, what you're doing is you're actually changing its locational variable all along the way so that it goes from here to here, but it's not the same cup really, because it contains a slightly different locational variable in its overall energy equation. So, I have just given you a lateral definition, but that still also works this way, vertically too. So if you have something that's on the ground, it has a specific location. If you take that object and put it up here in the air, it has a different location, different variable in its equation. So, if you can map the difference between the two vibrationally, if you have instruments that are sensitive enough to be able to read the entire energy frequency location variable here and the entire collective signature vibration of the object here, then when you put the object on the ground, you can, shall we say, bombard it, whether electronically or acoustically, or it really doesn't matter how, magnetically, but you bombard it with the vibration that contains the locational variable of up here, and then if you have enough energy going onto it, you can overwhelm, in a sense, and replace its locational variable on the ground, and it will suddenly have to go to the location that is represented by the new variable you are imposing on it. That's, quote-unquote, anti-gravity. It doesn't mean there is no gravity. It just means you have redefined its locational variable within the gravitational field. That's how it works. And that's how we go from star to star. We know the locational variable, let's say, of your solar system and how different it is from our solar system in our dimension. So we isolate our craft with a type of energy bubble that sort of neutralizes it from any particular reality, and then we impose within the craft the vibration of the location we wish to go to. The craft has to stop existing at the first location and automatically and immediately start existing at the second location, ideally with the crew inside. Because it's all wrapped in that vibrational bubble. We haven't traveled, really, the intervening distance. We have simply redefined where we are in another here and now, another version of here and now. In some ways, it might actually be more accurate to say that we haven't gone to the new location. We have recreated the location where we are. But because you see it from a space-time perspective, it looks like we have gone from there to here. Does that help?
Yeah, but then you don't actually need a spaceship. You can just teleport yourself then.
Yes, we understand, and that is possible as well. And we all do that anyway, because even when you're walking across a room, you're teleporting yourself. It's just that you're doing it in such small steps, you don't think you're doing it. That's the point. But the main reason we have ships is because the ships also represent a symbiotic relationship with our higher minds in a crystalline form, in a physical form. And also, many of the civilizations that we make first contact with need to understand us in a way they can understand us. And for many civilizations, it's easier for them to absorb contact with another civilization when they come in a ship than somebody who just suddenly appears behind them and goes, boom! It would, as you say, freak them out too much. So oftentimes, the idea of our ships are maintained for your benefit rather than ours. Does that help?
Yes.
So the experiment, as we have defined it before, is to take a very long, flat table, as perfectly flat as you can make it, and have it be at least 10 feet long. Take a hollow sphere of some material that you can resonate, such as copper or steel or what have you, as thin a shell as you can make it, but still make it as perfectly round as you can make it, and hollow, so it's light, and there's not a lot of material there. And take a measurement, get it vibrating, and take a measurement somehow of what the entire signature frequency is. Then literally physically move it to the other end of the table, take another measurement, put it back at the beginning, and then bombard it with the energy, overwhelming the material with the energy of the second frequency, however you wish to do that. As I said, magnetically, electronically, acoustically, and watch the ball roll to the other location and stop. That's how you test this principle. And then you can start mapping from whatever you consider to be point 0, what the different locational variables are in a matrix map out as far as you want to go. And then you'll be able to calculate exactly what formula of frequency to impose upon your ship to go to that specific location when you get far enough along in understanding this technology. Does that help?
Somehow. You have to understand that technology, of course. But,
well, you have to take baby steps. Because there are things that can happen. Even in our civilization, when we first really started experimenting with this, we had situations and circumstances where the ship wound up where it needed to go, but the crew did not.
Okay.
We have told this story before, and we have used it in a positive way, because from our perspective, the idea is that crew, in a sense, disappeared and they were spread throughout creation. So now we know that no matter where we go, there is always a part of us waiting there to greet us. That's the purpose that crew served for the rest. So, but take the baby steps. There's a lot to learn. Your technology is not quite at the point where you can be refined enough to really read those specific locational variables as clearly as you need to. So you need to improve the technology even of being able to even read those signature frequencies, to be able to tell the difference between those two locations. You have to isolate that locational variable. You're not even there yet. So take the time, it's fun.
Yeah.
Learn it, really become a master of it. That's what's fun about it.
Step by step. So, okay, I have another question.
Yes.
Yeah, I always see a lot of geometric patterns.
Yes.
And so it's good to look at. It's fantastic, but
Yes.
I believe that there's a language there. But
well, there is.
So how
And
can I read it?
in fact, that actually might be able to help you read the locational variable more easily, because if you can see those patterns, you might be able to interpret those frequencies in a geometric way. That's how we do it. That actually makes more sense to you and is easier for you to be able to see the variable you need to see. So you can use it that way. You can apply it that way.
Yeah. And
so that might be part of your ability to learn to do this.
Yeah, that's the thing. So how do I read it?
You'll figure that out. When you start taking the vibrational readings, look and see what kind of patterns you're seeing and look at the difference in the patterns between the two locations. Learn the language and learn how to read the language by doing the experiment we gave you and seeing how the patterns might be different.
Yeah.
That's one way you can use it. Use your imagination.
Yeah.
Yes?
I try to do that.
Well, just do it. Don't try. Just do it.
Yeah, and sometimes I just go. I can see my DNA structure.
Yes.
So it's like you're tapping into your own control room, and
Absolutely.
it's like now I can actually program or reprogram, but it's like
In a sense,
I don't know how to do it.
But you will. But this is part of the process. You need to go through the process so that you can really make it your own, so that you can really understand it and really master it. You can't just be given the end result. You won't know what to do with it. You won't even understand it until you have learned your way of relating to it, your way of understanding it. When people go into, in your planet, physics classes, they are not given the end result, most difficult cutting-edge formulas and equations. They have to learn from the scratch and the get-go and the building what that all means so they can become familiar with all the symbols and all the meanings. And then it's a richer experience, and then you can diversify and go off because you already know the so-called rules and you now know how to bend them. So you have to learn them first before you can bend them.
So I create my way.
Of course. Your way will be the way that you understand. You can't do it any other way. You have to do it your way, but you have to learn what your way is as part of the process.
So that's actually that's what's holding me back, because
yes.
I try to understand
things that are too advanced for you to understand right now.
It's like a temple or manual, but it isn't. I have to create.
You have to create your own template, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So have fun.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Remember, all of the great breakthroughs in your society were created by people who allowed themselves to think outside the box once they understood what the box was. So you need to understand the box, then you know how to think outside of it.
Hi, Bashar.
And you, good day.
Okay, I have 3 questions for you.
Yes.
First one is the recent disasters, earthquakes and hurricane.
Exciting, isn't it?
Does it relate to solar eclipse?
Well, in a sense, yes, because it's certainly the result of choices and consequences that people are making in terms of their relationship to nature, in which some people in your society believe certain things and some people believe different things. There's a lot of denial within fear-based beliefs about what's connecting to what, and a refusal to see your planet as an entire system. Well, then making certain choices from that refusal to understand your planet as an entire system will allow certain things to occur that may not necessarily be exactly as pleasant as you would prefer them to be. But if people are going to, from one level, decide that they're going to wake up, but they're not willing to do it in a smooth way by understanding the system, then they're going to do things to shock themselves awake. They're going to do things to force themselves to pay attention to what's going on in terms of the consequences of the choices you're making for the planet.
So we choose it.
Of course you do. Do you understand that what you call weather is a reflection of the collective emotional state of your entire mass consensus?
Yes, I can understand that.
Well, there you go.
Okay, my second question is, I've always had a dream about doing a genetic engineering.
Yes.
And is this something I do past, or I'm doing it right now?
You are making connections to what might be colloquially called past lives, particularly in Atlantis, where a lot of genetic engineering was done.
Yes.
But now that it's coming back into your society as a technology, there are other ways for you to use this, unless you are actually interested in expressing it specifically that way.
I just feel guilty about it for some reason.
You don't need to. You really don't. You have learned your lessons by making those connections, and you understand now that it is to your benefit to use whatever information you are gleaning from this in positive and constructive ways instead of destructive ones. Don't you?
Well, there was a dream that I created this animal, but it didn't.
It wasn't you, because you don't have another life, not as you. On the higher level, yes. But again, the point is, Did you learn something from it? Like, for example, not doing it again.
Yes.
Then you have erased the negativity in the connection by learning the lesson. So there's nothing to feel guilty about.
There's tendency, though.
There's not tendency. There is only choice. Tendency is nothing else but to choose to believe that you don't have a choice. When people say tendency, it's a denial of the fact that they're choosing. They just may be unaware of the fact that they're choosing, so they say, oh, I have a tendency. No, you don't. You're making a choice. It may just be an unconscious one, which is again why it's so important to get in conscious contact with the definitions that you are choosing to believe in. Tendency is just another way of saying I'm making an unconscious choice. So get in touch with it, and it won't be a tendency. It'll be a choice.
Okay. So I should explore that.
You can. I'm not saying you should, because we never say you should, but I'm saying you could.
Okay, my third question is hypnosis a bad thing?
Is what?
Hypnosis?
Depends on how you use it, isn't it? Isn't everything capable of being used in a positive or a negative way?
Yes.
Well, a positive way is to understand that hypnosis can be used to unlock you from other definitions that don't work for you.
Well, of course I have the, positive intent of it, but like...
But what? If you have a positive intent, why would you assume that you would use it in a negative way?
Because it feels like unnatural.
It feels unnatural?
Yes.
Do you understand that your entire physical reality is unnatural? You're creating it from your consciousness. It doesn't exist on its own.
But it's like I'm like intervening someone's life.
Are they there willingly asking you to do it, or are you forcing it on them?
No.
Then how are you intervening in a way that they haven't asked you to?
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Does that help?
Yes.
There you go.
Thank you.
I have now hypnotized you into understanding this.
Hi, Bashar.
And a you good day.
Okay, so I have a question about synchronicity.
Yes.
In the past couple of months, I've experienced insane amount of synchronicity.
Congratulations.
Thank
We
you.
experience it every moment of every day.
So lucky.
So are you.
Thank
You're
you.
always experiencing it, remember. Always. There is never a moment when you're not experiencing synchronicity. It's just that there is positive and negative synchronicity.
So I noticed that the more that I experienced synchronicity and the more that I started realizing, like, experiencing kind of the miraculous and like, wow, the power of moments and how things can...
Synchronicity is physical reality's space-time way of demonstrating that everything is connected, that everything is one thing. It just has to do it in a synchronous way because you are seeing it through space and time, that's all.
That's exactly, actually, the lesson I guess I've been learning from it.
Yes.
But at the same time, what I've noticed is...
Was that a joke?
No.
At the same time.
Oh, no. Not at all. But simultaneously,
There's that joke again.
I'm so sorry. I've noticed that the more that I experience such a high level of synchronicity and crazy moments, I also experience a high degree of pain.
Oh,
and
really? All right.
Negativity.
In what sense?
I'd say a lot of it is guilt.
About what? Specifically, about what? Why is experiencing synchronicity allowing you to also experience guilt?
Because I feel like the more that things go well for me, I'm losing A, more of a sense of myself, or B, it negatively affects others.
Now, why are you holding on to those beliefs that obviously, if you examine them more closely, make no sense at all? Because the more you experience synchronicity, the more you actually are being yourself. And by being yourself, the more you are helping others by being an example of someone being themselves. So in that light, what you're talking about experiencing makes no sense. You have contradictory definitions of things that don't match the experience of synchronicity.
But it almost feels like the more I'm myself, sometimes I feel like...
I understand what you're saying, but you're not paying attention to the way you're saying it. I understand you feel that, but remember what we said? You can't have a feeling without a definition first. Do you understand? You can't feel anything if you don't know what the definition of that thing is. You won't know how to feel. So the fact that you might feel that more strongly is your first clue that that means it's putting you in touch with the fact you have a definition that's out of alignment with who you actually are. You need to find out what that definition is and let it appear nonsensical, because it doesn't make sense. It's not a definition of being yourself. To say that experiencing more synchronicity gives me more pain because somehow I'm doing some damage to someone else, that makes no sense if you understand what synchronicity is.
Okay, then then I want to focus on just the idea of the pain part.
Yes.
A lot of it plays in part with what I call emotional abuse.
Yes.
I don't really have a question per se, but
who was emotionally abused?
Me?
Really? Are you sure?
Well, I feel...
Are you the person now who is being emotionally abused? Now?
No.
Yes, you are. Because you're doing it to yourself. Because you've learned to do it to yourself. That's what you were taught. And so in a sense, you're perpetuating the emotional abuse because you've been trained to do so. You don't have to. Because now you understand that that's not what you prefer. You just don't understand that you're the one now doing it to yourself. Because you're so familiar with how to do it. Because you were taught how to do it. Yes?
Yeah.
But you are not being emotionally abused by anyone else because you're too busy emotionally abusing yourself. No one else could do a better job at this point other than you because you know yourself best. So you know where your buttons are. You know how to make yourself feel bad and feel guilty, and you're doing it to yourself. If you're sick and tired of it, stop doing it. You don't deserve it. You don't have to keep doing it. It's something you learn, but you don't have to keep doing it. You can give it up. You can break that because you're choosing to do it. It's in your power to do so. Is that something that you would prefer?
Yeah, definitely.
Then do that. There is no reason until you give yourself a reason to feel that way, to feel guilty about being yourself. You're the one inventing the reasons to feel guilty. If you don't prefer it, stop doing it. If you don't stop doing it, we can only assume that you're not yet sick and tired of being sick and tired of it. But when you're really sick and tired of it, you'll stop because you'll realize you're the one doing it.
Wow.
Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Is this helping?
Yeah, a lot.
All right.
I would have never known that.
All right. But now you do. Does that make you feel a little bit lighter?
Yes.
To know that you're the one that's in control of this?
Yeah.
And that you can stop because you say that it's not something you prefer anymore, and it's that simple? Do you understand that it can work that way?
It seems so easy.
It is. That's the great surprise. It is that easy. It really is that easy. It's been easy for you to feel guilty, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So it's just as easy to feel joy and deservability and love for yourself. Just as easy as it's been for you to feel guilty. You did that with no effort at all. You can choose what you wish to experience with no effort at all. Feeling guilty effortlessly. Feeling guilty should prove to you how effortless it can be to feel something else. Because there's nothing within creation that says that you have to feel one thing or another. It's up to you. And it shows you how effortless it is by allowing you to experience what you believe you should be experiencing effortlessly. So if you believe you should be feeling guilt, guilt is effortlessly there. But if you now realize that you don't prefer to feel that anymore, then it just becomes one of a number of choices of things to experience. And if you really say, well, you know what? It was valid for the time because it has brought me to a place where I have learned that this is no longer what I prefer. So thank you, guilt, for bringing me here. And now it's important to let you rest. And I now choose to experience something different just as effortlessly as I experienced you. How's that sound?
That sounds really good.
Yes, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Does this help you?
Yes, it does.
All right.
Part of that also, if you're 100% yourself, there's no way it can. How?
When you are 100% yourself, there is no way you can automatically experience that which is not you. You always, as 100% yourself, always have the ability to choose to do so. But when you are 100% yourself, it doesn't appear to make sense to give yourself any other choice than being you. That's how you stay in that state. It simply doesn't make sense to choose anything other than being you. There is no other choice. But you always have the ability to choose. But everything just becomes an equally valid choice. Negative, positive, hey, it's an equally valid choice because it can all be used in whatever way you wish. So when you remove the stigma from the choice and everything is equal, well, then you can choose what you prefer without invalidating what you don't. It's just in the pool of choices. That's all. It's like saying, well, I'm going to go into a candy store. And there is this candy, and I don't really fancy that so much. And there is this candy, and I don't really fancy that so much. Oh, look, there's my favorite candy. I'm going to choose that. Now, you understand that other people might love the candy that you're not that fancy about. Mm-hmm. So it's just another choice. It's not like you go, oh, I'm going to be so guilty for choosing my favorite candy because I've left those other candies behind. Oh no, what will people think of me that I didn't choose those?
That's how I feel.
I know, but when I paint the picture this way, doesn't it seem a little bit silly?
Yeah.
So that's the way you need to look at what you're doing. You need to paint a picture for yourself that allows you to see how nonsensical what you're choosing is. Make sense? Mm-hmm. And I don't mean it in a judgmental way. I'm saying it is literally nonsensical for who you actually are. It doesn't make sense to choose something you're not. That's where all of your struggles come from. All the pain you experience in life is resistance to your true self. That's what it is. It's resistance to your true self. That's what creates the sensation and the experience of pain. Resistance. Go with the flow. It knows where to take you. Yes? Mm-hmm. Does that help?
Yes.
Then flow. Thank you.